Whoops, wrong princess. Oh, well, minus Fox or 9 till again. I'm at Fox, and I am one at a Dutch angle apparently. Maybe not. Maybe I just don't know what a Dutch angle is. Basically, my camera's kind of tilted. But hey, guys, I recently have been watching the I watched I was binge watching some of it. I got like halfway through. I'm probably gonna watch the rest later. But I finished watching up to episode 7. Actually, I'm on episode 8, but episode 7 of She-Ra, Princess of Power, which is the new Netflix series, which is a reboot of the show back in the 80s of He-Man's cousin and or sister. I can't really remember. She-Ra or Odora, which one I actually know about He-Man for one. Even though I mostly first only saw the original, the reboot one, and then I have seen the original, some of the episodes from the original He-Man, but I actually do like He-Man. I have the reboot Castle Grayskull. You can even see the sword right there, as well as right here. I have He-Man somewhere and Skeletor, but I have Battle Cat right here, though I don't know where the mask is, and he's being ridden by Samurai Jack. But I actually really do like some of these things. Hold on. But yeah, so I do know some stuff about He-Man and She-Ra a bit. Again, I know more about He-Man than I do She-Ra, so coming into this, I really didn't know what much else to expect. I knew some things like She-Ra, of course, is like the basically is the female He-Man in a sense for like the original '80s one. Like He-Man was the big muscular man who apparently was about gay symbolism, and She-Ra, I'm not sure if that was about lesbian symbolism or not. I don't know. Though I will say there is a crap ton of gay people in this one, and I say that in a sense that every male character I'm pretty sure is gay in this show. And then one girl I know is a lesbian. But going back to the show, this show honestly kind of when it first opens, it kind of reminds. One, I do like this show, and I actually did a review on this, and then I didn't like how I did, so I just wanted to redo it real quick. But I do like parts of the show. Honestly, this has some of the things. This and Star versus the Forces of Evil has very similar kind of premises, as well as having like similar kind of like world and stuff like that, as well as similar ideas with mother figures and villains. But I will say, because I like Star versus for its world building and stuff like that, and then when it tries to do like the whole like thing with like her parents and mother and stuff like that, I always felt it feels flat, and like it never really made sense because like they build up the mom being some kind of strict like queen, but in the end she's actually real nice and caring all this time. Like, why did Star hate her? In this, it's kind of the opposite. The mother figure and the mother relationship in this, and like kind of the family stuff, is really good in She-Ra. It is really good. And the world, or at least the colorful, candy-coated, oh my god, my soul, oh my god, I feel like I'm going to get diabetes watching this world, is not that good. And that's so weird. But anyways, basically a quick synopsis, this is different from the original She-Ra, in a sense that, one, this opens up with like a landscape shot of like, oh, look at the colorful, magical land of whatever this place is. Look at this magical, wonderful land. And then smash cut to a dark, desolate city called, I think it's like Fright City, I can't really remember the name, where She-Ra apparently was adopted and grown up in, where she's grown up in the, I believe it's called the Horde, where she's grown up in the Horde as a soldier, along with her best friend, Catra, who I love these two characters. For one, I like She-Ra, but I love Catra. I like She-Ra and Catra's relationship, because just at one point, there's one point where I just fell in love with this relationship, and it's when She-Ra's laying in bed, and Catra, who is like a humanoid cat person, basically. Like, she's humanoid but has like cat ears and a tail and has agility and claws. But Catra's like rolled up in like She-Ra's like leg on her legs and stuff. I'm like, that's so goddamn adorable, and it already shows that I love this relationship of these two characters. Not like, cause I don't see their relationship as something, they like love each other, but I do see that they're like good friends. I'm like, I freaking fall in love with it. And here's the thing. And basically short thing, She-Ra gets bumped up to commander by her superior, who is Shadow Weaver, who turns out is actually the person who raised her. She's the one who found She-Ra, who raised her and also taught her to fight. And Shadow Weaver is basically a mother figure to She-Ra. And that becomes important later on, because one, apparently this world, like how it's built up, She-Ra is taught that she has to defeat these princesses, these evil princesses that manipulate you, who are gossipy and like try to persuade you, stuff like that. Basically, like evil temptresses and stuff like that. And honestly, I kind of see it when it happened, when she actually does meet these princesses. After she's actually promoted to squad leader by Shadow Weaver, and Catra also wants to be promoted but doesn't because Shadow Weaver does not like Catra at all. The two then basically go on kind of like they get on like a skiff or like a hover ship or hover bike or something like that. It's not a hover bike, it's like a boat. It's a hover boat. And they basically take it off to go explore like this magical forest of eternity, whatever, which are their mortal enemies. This is who they're fighting. They've been taught that these princesses are evil, and this land over here is evil, and they're going to take it over, and that tomorrow, She-Ra's going to go to this one place, leading a squad of basically stormtroopers, and take out these people, which I'll bring up later on, something about their armies. But they go to this place, and when they go to this forest, which is apparently a very dark and devastating forest, they actually find the sword, though it doesn't look like this, like the reboot of He-Man. They changed the sword of power, which actually, now that I think about it, yeah, you can see it's right there. Little shiny thing. But they changed those, I believe they are called the sword of power. They changed the sword. And it does look, and I do actually like the redesign of the sword. It doesn't look too bad. It's not just He-Man's old sword with a jewel in the center. But She-Ra basically finds the sword, touches it, starts having visions, leaves with Catra. Also, the sword magically disappeared, and then it reappears later on, never really explained. Later on, she tells Catra, "Hey, Catra, cover for me. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be back." She leaves back to go find the sword, but then when she goes, she just so happens to find Glimmer. Glimmer and I don't know his name. I just been calling him Gay Hawkeye, which like. He looks like, I don't know, I'll bring that up. But basically, Glimmer and this guy, which Glimmer is a princess who has the ability to teleport and create sparkles. She's apparently trying to prove to her mother, like, I can lead an army, even though apparently earlier she led an army and they died. Or at least they failed the mission. They didn't straight up say they died, but I'm pretty sure they died. And she's like, but I want to lead an army. And I'm like, you probably killed some people and used your teleportation abilities to teleport away. I don't think you should get an army. But I guess these characters are supposed to be quirky because it's Glimmer, this wants to be a hero, wants to be a leader, hero proof for her mother character, and Gay Hawkeye, who's her like very peppy sidekick, which her peppy sidekick who's always happy, who's like, I have to always name things. Think Cisco from The Flash, but about 10 times gayer. Give him a bow and arrow and a midriff shirt that kind of has like an upside down V cut. Like, I think later on they're trying to say that he's not gay because they think he's going out with one of the other princesses at one point, but I'm pretty sure he's gay because one, clothes alone, which I'm not saying anything about midriff. No, because I played Disgaea, and there's a couple characters who show their midriff who are freaking like the strongest, epicest characters ever. I'm not saying you can't be epic and gay, but I'm saying this guy is flamboyant and gay. There's no way that this guy is not gay. I guess he could just, I don't know. But basically, She-Ra goes, finds the sword. Glimmer and this guy track down, because apparently the sword is actually ancient first civilization technology. They track down the sword and be like, hey, give me that sword. No, that's my sword. They do it. Giant beetle comes, starts attacking them. She-Ra grabs the sword and goes, it has visions, and then goes, by the honor of Grayskull, goes Super Saiyan, because her hair kind of flies flowing in the air like Finn. And she grows like 2 feet, muscles. And here's the thing, like, people got angry about like, oh, She-Ra doesn't look all She-Ra doesn't look all thin and skinny like a Barbie doll in this show, like she's supposed to. And I'm just thinking, like, she's supposed to be the princess of power, for one. 2, this sword is freaking huge. She needs muscle for that. And 3, this is how a goddamn Amazon is supposed to look. An Amazon is supposed to have muscle. She's supposed to be big, and she still looks like a girl. If that even, but anyways, look like a girl. And when she's not She-Ra, she has more curves, if that's your problem with it. But yeah, but she gains this powers, and then basically, which also I really love that, like, somehow they kept this whole same thing with He-Man where ropes physics are weird, or things about, like, in He-Man where, like, in I think the holiday special where he combines 2 chains by just going, and just like they just magically attach. Like 2 broken halves of the chain just magically attach together and fuse. In this, it's like, she was wrists are tied by honor of Grayskull. By the honor of Grayskull, just immediately like rips these apparently cuffs off before she becomes strong, and that's happens like 2 or 3 times. But She-Ra gains the power. She's like, oh yeah, and then she basically goes with these 2 because these 2 like capture her, but they take her to this village. I forgot what exactly it was. Oh, She-Ra saves them a couple times, and the guy's like, you like us. She's like, I don't like you. Yeah. But then they go to a town where apparently they're having a party, and She-Ra's like, I've never been to, our Fright City never has parties. I don't know what that is. And she's like, oh, yeah, here, come on. Come on, we'll show you. You don't know what a party is? That's the guy. You don't know what a party is? Come with me. It's like Steven and Connie's gay love child. Steven and Connie's child. That's exactly what he is. Steven and Connie's child without the badassness of Connie. And not Stevani. Like, it's like if you took every last bit of Connie's personality out of it and you just had Steven and you amped up his gayness to like 5,000, like to 11. Mind you, I'm pretty sure Steven likes Connie, but still. But yeah, so She-Ra sees things like, oh my gosh, this place is great. It has such good food, and I like these things. A horse, which I actually really like that she has like a weakness for horses. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then she turns out this actually is a town that she was supposed to destroy the next day, which Catra actually is sent to destroy with stormtroopers, the Horde, and she finds She-Ra because that's her job to find She-Ra because Shadow Weaver told her, go find She-Ra now, this is your fault. It's because, again, Shadow Weaver just does not like Catra. Catra goes, come on, oh, She-Ra, great, come on, let's go. And she's like, no, I can't go. I can't go. Like, they're destroying this village, and it's just the people. We thought it was a military base. They lied to us. And this is the part where I started liking Catra, and even then later on, some more of the bad guys, is when Catra just goes, yeah, they've been lying to us. And she was like, what? And she's like, yeah, Catra straight up knew, like, it's nothing like, Finn in, like, Star Wars or something. It's like, no, Catra straight up knows, like, yeah, like, we're taking over. That's our thing. We're taking over the world. And I'm just saying, like, all right. And she's like, but like, you and me, we can rule this place. We can go through the ranks and rule the Horde and stuff, and she was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Then she gets shocked a couple times by Catra, who's like, come on, you're coming with me or I'm gonna keep tasering you. And then Glimmer and Gay Hawkeye come in, fight Catra off. She returns Super Saiyan, fights off enemies, which her name's Adora, because she's adorable. And when Catra leaves, and then basically starts. Then after that, it's like that's the first 2 episodes. She joins these what is it? Brightheart, I think is what the name is called. The city. She joins them, and basically her, Glimmer, and Gay Hawkeye for the next couple episodes are going from kingdom to kingdom, trying to recruit princesses because there was an old princess order basically to bring them all together. They all have superpowers to fight, but last time messed up, but now they're gonna do that again. And that's the least good part about this world, because this world is just like if you took the Land of Oo or like Star Versus, where like they have like the gummy gumdrop like magical looking world, but like in Star Versus, it's like this is a magical looking kingdom, but there's straight up poverty and destruction, and like the royal class are like kind of insane, and like there is a giant gap, and like this magical world isn't all that great. This, on the other hand, is like, no, everything's great and rainbows and sunshines, and it's just like, no, like, don't play this straight. Are you kidding me? You can't play this straight anymore. But whatever, they're trying to play it straight. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. But they try to play it straight, which I'm like, no, like even like Adventure Time knew to play it up, and like they make fun of it, but still having a good, interesting world. This is just like, no, the world that isn't interesting. Where it does get interesting is when you go back to the Fright City with Shadow Weaver, because again, Shadow Weaver is like a mother figure to She-Ra, and over the events, like Catra and Shadow Weaver are some of like the most three-dimensional characters, like three-dimensional like villains I've seen in a long time, and they're really good. Because Catra's whole thing, like, it's not like, oh, you betrayed me and stuff like that. No, you betrayed me, so now you're my enemy, She-Ra. No, that's not it. Catra's whole thing is bringing She-Ra back. Catra's whole thing is basically she misses her friend and wants to bring her back. And she doesn't go say, like, I miss She-Ra or something. Like, no, like, you see different things, like, when she's talking with these other cadets, like, hey, like, She-Ra's not that strong, but they know her as Adora. And she's like, that magic girl's not that strong. I know her weakness. She goes, yeah, sure you do, Catra. Why don't you be quiet? Adora's not here to protect you anymore. And you just see her ears go down and her looking sad. Or like, every time, like, so far they've met each other and, like, fought against each other in, when Catra tracks down She-Ra at order of Shadow Weaver, every time that happens, because also Catra gets bumped up to Commander, what She-Ra was given by Shadow Weaver of rank, she never goes like, oh, you're just, this is that. No, she always says, like, she's like saying, I'm going to bring you back. I'm not going to stop till I bring you back. Like, that's her friend. That is her best friend. That is her family, basically. All the closest thing she has with family, and that is what she wants to bring her back. And then you have Shadow Weaver, which she seems like a mean woman who's always tough and angry, but she's constantly going against her higher commander. She is going against, like, the main bad guy. She is telling Catra, you will go get She-Ra. She does almost everything in her power that she can to bring She-Ra back. And it's because it's not like, and like the thing is, like, at least how I read it, it's because that's her daughter. That's her daughter that she's trying to get back. These people took her daughter away from her, and she wants to get her back. She does everything she can. Like she's told like 2 to 3 times by like the head boss, like, why are you going after her? She's no longer with us. She's no longer part of the Horde. Make Catra the leader, and that's it, and leave her be. But Shadow Weaver keeps going, no. I'm going to get her back. And, like, she goes, like, it's not like she's just like, oh, I'm doing this. No, she does this, like, she has to do it in secret, so he doesn't find out. She does this even though he could take away her power and probably even kill her. She does this to get She-Ra and bring her back. It never feels like something like Starscream and Transformer were like, oh, he's trying to just take over. Even though later on she does say that she does want to take over with She-Ra. And it's not like, oh, the superhero's all super strong and I want her to be on my team. No, it's along the more lines of, she's my daughter. I want to bring her home. And she's like, come home, She-Ra. Like, she wants her daughter to come back. And if you look at this from the point of view of them, from the point of view of the quote-unquote villains, because again, Catra just wants to bring her family back. Shadow Weaver just wants to bring her daughter back. And yeah, she's tough, but it's not like Mother Gothel in Tangled, where it's like, oh, I want my daughter back. Don't you love your mommy? No, it's that, like, that is Gothel wanting to control Rapunzel. Wants to take her and use her for something. This feels way more like that's her daughter. She wants to bring her home. That's the girl she raised, the girl that she helped train and all that stuff. That's her daughter. She wants to bring her home, and I freaking love that. It's beautiful. I like that. It's in depth and it's not spelled out for you. You kind of have to infer that from looking at everything, from what Shadow Weaver is doing, what Shadow Weaver is going to, lengths she's going to bring her back. Like, at one point, she even like knocks her, like, she uses so much power she passes out trying to bring She-Ra back. And it's kind of like amazing. And then like even like some other villains are great, like this Scorpio, which is a cross between Jasper from Steven Universe and Zarya from Overwatch, more like style hair wise. And with a sprinkle of Mako, which I fell in love with this character too. So she appeared, she looked all big and badass, and then she looked at Catra because she's assigned to Catra, and she goes, "Kitty!" And just started talking Catra. She goes, "Don't, I warn you, I'm a hugger." And Catra's like, "What the? Get off me!" She's like, "Oh my god." It's amazing. I love this girl. I love Scorpio. She's freaking epic. And even then, like, you see that, like, these princesses are kind of racist, or at least not like, basically once the Princess Alliance broke up, they're like, you know what, screw you all. We're just printing our own kingdoms, and we're printing our own kingdoms. And apparently, like, Scorpio was a princess, but the people didn't like her kingdom or whatever. So she's like, yeah, so we just joined the Horde and stuff like that. That's actually episode 8. But yeah, I'm just like, I like these characters. I like the bad guy characters. And honestly, their designs are probably the better of these two. And it's really cool. I like these characters. They're fun, and like they're in their depth. At least Shadow Weaver and Catra are. And like I wish She-Ra, they added a little bit more. With She-Ra, like of course it's her like, oh, I'm trying to gain my new powers, figure out how to use these. But also, like, I kind of hope they're gonna have more like where she does feel that homesickness, that because like there is a little bit of that where like she can't sleep alone in her room because she's so used to sleeping in the bunks with everyone around her, with Catra with her and stuff like that. Like that is the thing, and like again, like there's so different things. Like Catra wants to be angry at She-Ra, even to the point where she scratches like this picture of them. But then she's like, oh no. It's like she wants to like, she immediately like, regrets it and tries to fix it. And it's stuff like that. Like the stuff with like family and the stuff with family. The stuff with like Shadow Weaver and Catra wanting their family that's in She-Ra to come back to them. That stuff is beautiful. And that's the strongest parts of this. The world is not that strong. They play this magical, sugary coated world too straight. to the point where I feel like, oh my god, I don't want to eat anything sugary after watching this. Because that's how it feels. It makes you feel nauseous from sugar, like a sugar high. Like too much sugar you ate. And, the world. And like, the world doesn't make much sense in some cases, even with the Horde. Like, apparently, like, if you're like 17 or 18, you make up most of the armies on both sides. No, more the Horde. The Horde has an army that's constantly attacking people. The whatever magical princesses world land, they're like, oh, I'm a magical princess who can only create flowers. I can't fight. Even though eventually she summons a tendrils of vines and whips that destroy an entire base. And like there's like so many like hard-fisted lessons like, oh, you can fight, I guess, whatever, or like, oh, you don't have to be a hero or have superpowers to be a hero, with these bakers who like learn to fight people by hitting them over the head with soda bottles and throwing cupcakes and hitting them with frying pans. It's but like when it comes to this magical land, like it that's like the weakest part of it. It feels just like any kind of sugar-coated, super girly world, which I'm just like, and let's just say, like, again, like, it doesn't have to be like all dark and gloomy like the Fright City, no, because I like the contrast, and like it even has like kind of that Sonic Sat AM feel, with like, oh, the bad guys live in a dark industrial city while the good guys live in a foresty, nice air, magical forest. It's kind of has that kind of similar like 90s, 80s kind of like environmental message, which kind of shows what this show came from. And that's not bad, but like the character designs even on the heroes are bad. Like again, like I brought up gay Hawkeye with like his midriff shirt, which is like white gold pants. I believe that's what it was. And then like a kind of like a red heart, which I like a red heart symbol on the chest, but like I don't know, it just doesn't look right. And like his hairstyle and then how he acts is just like no. And like even like some of the princesses, like one of them's like, oh, a mermaid, which is the one that's a lesbian who likes She-Ra. Like when she transforms her legs into like a mermaid tail, it doesn't look like a mermaid tail. It looks like someone like those dolls that you see, like I see in the commercials of, where it's like the Barbie doll, but like you slip on the tail. Like that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like she's actually a mermaid. It just looks like, oh, like a cruddy tail. Like the art on the hero, princesses and heroes is bad, I think. For a couple of them, where their designs just aren't good or they're too generic. And then especially when you compare them to, I would say Glimmer, yeah, She-Ra, Catra, Scorpio, and like Shadow Weaver. Other than that, like almost everyone else in this show is so generic looking. So generic. And I'm just like these guys would all just be background characters for everything else. They would not be main characters at all. They would just be background characters. Which that's like some of the faults for this show. As well as like the ham-fisted lessons, or like they're like making fun of the gay Hawkeye who's like, I made a sonic arrow. Like, when are we ever gonna need a sonic arrow? And it's just like, I can think of multiple ways. I've seen Green Arrow and Hawkeye use probably sonic arrows in some way that's like freaking good or good. Heck, I've seen Hanzo use a sonic arrow in a really amazing ways. You're just dumb if you. It's just like so ham-fisted lessons. The best part are the villains, and if you look at this from the point of view of that, like everything that they said about the princesses are true, like the propaganda about them, like yeah, the princesses are deceiving, conniving characters, kind of who kind of just are in it for themselves. And a lot of them kind of are in the beginning. Kind of all are like that. Where like they'll tempt you and stuff like that. And like yeah, that's kind of seems how it is, because they kind of tempt She-Ra into being part of this world. Even though like yeah, She-Ra's people lied to her, but also on the other hand, these people don't. These people just feel, the princess side just feels like they feel like, yeah, they're temptress and stuff like that. And that's kind of how Catra and Shadow Weaver probably see it. Like, yeah, they tempted She-Ra and we need to bring her back. We need to bring her home. And again, the parts with Shadow Weaver and Catra, like, not spelling out that, like, oh, she misses her, that she loves her, stuff like that, at least right now, like, just seeing that little bits of character for both Catra and Shadow Weaver. Shadow Weaver doing everything she can to bring back her daughter home, going against orders multiple times, even though it might get her killed, to quote unquote save her daughter and bring her home. Or Catra, again, scratching the picture of She-Ra and her, and then just immediately just going, no, and just wanting to keep that together, like looking sad when she sees these other people, like, say, like, She-Ra's not here to protect you now, and stuff like that. That's when it gets so good, and that's when this show is amazing. I do like this show for those bits. These are the kind of stuff that, like, Starverse needed with her mother and stuff like that, but they can't do for whatever reason. If you took the world of Starverses, or at least played She-Ra's world like you do Starverses, where, like, rainbows are used to punch people in the face, compared to, and have the drama and the three-dimensional characters of Shadow Weaver and Catra for the villains and the mother figure and stuff like that, and you merge those two together, you would have an amazing show. Right now, it is only amazing really when the bad guys are on screen, because they are, like, the most likable characters. They're the most wanting to bring their family home, while the princesses are kind of just in it for themselves, where Glimmer is kind of really just using She-Ra. At least kind of feels like, even though, like, they try to, like, have, like, more friends and stuff like that, which is cool and all, but also it's just like, She-Ra should feel some homesickness. She should want to go home, at least at some point. Even if, like, she's like, I know I can't go back home, like, she should at least want to go back home to see Catra, to see Shadow Weaver or something. And I don't know, but I like that bits of the show. I'm gonna keep watching. I want to see it till the end. Tell me what you guys in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you want to see videos that I've done, links are on my face, description around there somewhere. Please share my videos, and we will. See you later. Also, I love when She-Ra uses basically, like, the power that he manages to turn back, turn his giant tiger into a battle cat. I love when She-Ra accidentally does that to the horse, and the horse is like, "What is happening?"